Hey everyone, Adam here with a quick RimWorld guide to defense. This video will cover a technique that I accidentally discovered way back in my Winston Waves playthroughs. I've never seen anyone else use it or talk about it, and in fact, me and several members of my community went looking and we couldn't find anything. Not to say no one else has seen this or discovered it before, but anyway, it's a technique that I like to call zonal shooting. So what is zonal shooting? In short, this is a technique to use zones in order to have many more pawns shoot from the exact same tile. This allows you to make much smaller footprint kill boxes without compensating on colonist count. This can be invaluable on typically hard to build on maps like swamps or bogs. In addition, it makes kill boxes like the one from my Singularity guide even more deadly. So how does it work? There are two methods. I will talk about the more complex but better version first. In the area you want all of your pawns to shoot from, make a one tile zone. Make 4 doors around this zone and set all 4 doors to be held open. Make sure you have a pawn pass through each of these for them to actually be opened. Now you can zone as many colonists as you'd like into that one tile zone and they'll stack up there. Once they are all inside, forbid the doors and draft the colonists. If you do not forbid the doors first, they're going to balloon out. Now all of your colonists can shoot from that single tile. You can position this in kill boxes such as the Singularity, which normally only holds 11 pawns, to get a crazy amount of firepower. It even works down hallways. The second method is similar to the first, but instead of needing doors or such, you simply make a small one tile zone, set all of your pawns to be zoned there, and then make sure they are set to aggressive in this menu. This is a much easier and faster setup, but has several problems. The main one being that pawns set to aggressive, not drafted, will not shoot at their weapon's maximum range. As such, this method is generally better for short-range weapons. Now, a very important note. RimWorld's maps are divided up into invisible grid regions. Depending on where you happen to set up your kill area, zones, colonists, and a host of other things, your colonists may balloon out even with restricted doors. To combat this, we need to divide these grids up. It sounds complicated and it can very well be so, but really all we're doing is plopping down fences like this. So why does this work? Well, the reasons why it works is pretty complex and not really needed in this short tutorial. I may do another short guide on that sometime, but we're just going to say for now, it just works. So, important note number 2. Regardless of which setup you use, if enemies get too close to your shooters, your colonists will suddenly get collision and balloon out. This can be very deadly, especially in tight 1x1 setups. As such, you may need to learn how to reset the kill box until later in the game when you have overwhelming firepower. Having this reset completed by the time the enemy gets roughly 5 tiles away works best. To do this, you simply have someone open another path into your base while closing the path in from the kill box. As long as enemies can reroute to a path to go after your other pawn, they will leave the kill box, allowing you to reset. Occasionally they'll attack the door for a moment, but just be sure to repair it and you won't have to worry about it. In general, if using this method, it's a good idea to have 2 separate small kill boxes which you can just bounce raids back and forth from. And I want to emphasize that, like with the Singularity kill box, learning to reset during combat and juggle the raiders around is paramount until you've gotten that overwhelming firepower I mentioned earlier. And I think that basically does it. Whether you are using zonal shooting to pack more firepower into something as crazy as the Singularity, or shooting down a hallway, or even just condensing your standard kill box, there's a ton of utility to be found with this technique. Really, this mini guide only scratches the surface. I'll be using this technique as sort of a launching point for some more kill box and defense guides shortly, so keep an eye out for those. If you enjoyed this RimWorld guide to zonal shooting defense, or it helped you at all, please consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video, leaving a comment down below, and sharing it with others. If you'd like to reference a written version of this guide, you can head over to my website, adamversuseverything.com/guides. And as always, thank you for watching.